What punishment did another parent have that made you think, you've got to be kidding me? I never thought I'd meet a parent worse than my own strict mom until I met my son's friend Nate's mother. My son Owen and Nate had been best friends since 3rd grade, and they were both straight A students who never caused trouble. But one day, Nate came over looking completely devastated. I asked what was wrong, and he explained that his mom had grounded him for 6 months because he got a B+ on his physics test. No phone, no friends, no nothing. Just school and straight home. I thought he was exaggerating until his mom called me to make sure I knew Nate wasn't allowed at our house anymore. The next day at school pickup, I noticed Nate's mom, Andrea, watching him like a hawk. She'd installed a tracking app that alerted her if he deviated even slightly from his route home. The poor kid couldn't even stop to tie his shoes without getting an angry call demanding to know why he wasn't moving. What really got me was when Owen told me Andrea was making Nate write a 1,000-word essay every single night about why he was a disappointment. She'd read them at breakfast and tell him all the ways his writing needed improvement. The kid was 14. This was straight up psychological abuse. I tried talking to Andrea mother to mother, told her she was being too harsh. She just smiled this cold smile and said, "Some of us actually care about our children's futures." Then she showed me a contract she'd drawn up. If Nate got anything less than an A for the rest of high school, she'd sell his college fund and donate it to charity. That's when I decided enough was enough. I started documenting everything: the cruel punishments, the tracking, the essays. Owen secretly recorded Nate's mom screaming at him for getting a 98 instead of 100 on a quiz. I reached out to Nate's dad, who'd divorced Andrea years ago. Turns out she'd been hiding his letters and lying about him abandoning them. One morning, Andrea found Nate's room empty. There was a note saying he'd gone to live with his dad, along with copies of all the evidence we'd gathered of her abuse. She showed up at my house screaming, saying I'd poisoned her son against her. That's when I played the recordings for her. Her face went white when she heard herself telling Nate he was worthless, that he'd end up a failure like his father. I told her the evidence would go straight to CPS and her ex-husband's lawyer if she tried to force Nate to come back. She tried fighting for custody, but between the recordings, the essays, and Nate finally speaking up about the psychological torture, she didn't stand a chance. The judge ordered supervised visitation only and mandatory counseling before she could petition for more access. 2 years later, Nate's thriving living with his dad. He got into his dream college with a full scholarship. His mom wasn't invited to the graduation. Instead, he asked me to be there with his father.